All right, hello there, Kenzo Econ, and maybe other friends watching this. Um, I wanted to uh, introduce our conversations for talking about economics this week. Amy and I and Jules are gone and in Taiwan visiting our grandmother. Um, um, and that is a big expense, right? Just even sharing about where we are financially with that, right? It's the flight costs, um, several thousand. Um, and then we have to budget for the food and the money, the food that we have to eat while we're there. And of course, transportation, like on the train or whatever else we're there. Um, but yeah, I wanted to introduce this topic that we, I wanted to see if we could be thinking about while, oh, sorry, sorry. Whoa, sorry guys, the video popped up. Um, The conversation topic for these next 2 weeks will be this idea of merit, or meritocracy. Meritocracy. Um, I'm not going to define that for us. I'm going to let you guys pick up as you watch videos, as you can even Google these things to try to grasp what they mean. Um, but we're going to watch a video that is a debate between two different people. A debate is like a conversation where they take two sides, right? And one argues for one way of looking at things, the other one argues for another one. And they're trying to convince each other that their perspective is the right way to look at it. But this is a debate about meritocracy. And I know I said I wouldn't define it for us, but I'll just share a little bit first. Um, when How is this relevant to Kenzo Econ in our own conversations about money and stewardship and the economy and Jesus? When we think about merit and meritocracy, um, we think about um, right. Did someone merit or earn, uh, say, a salary? Right. When I worked hard, man, that was really good work. You merited uh, that that salary or that bonus, right? You did a really good job. I want to give you a bonus, right? That's merit based. You, in your grades at school, you really merited that A, right? Um, some people break down this idea of merit to say merit is equal to, raw talent, right? Whether that's intelligence or whether that's strength, whatever kind of ability, plus effort, right? Because we all start out with certain different kinds of abilities, more or less of different kinds of abilities, right? Whether that's intelligence, physical strength, emotional intelligence, humor, right? Natural gifts that we have, right? But then on top of that, effort, right? So there's two dimensions that people define it as, sort of this talent or ability plus effort, right? How much we exert, how much we work on top of what we naturally already have. And then that becomes merit. Um, and Yeah, obviously this starts to connect with topics surrounding money and economics, um, and so we want to think also about this bigger picture topic of meritocracy. And it's a little bit more complicated topic, but my summary of it would be this idea that we live in a system in which people get rewarded fairly for if you merit, if you deserve, um, uh, rewards, then you're rewarded, and if you don't, you're not. And so the idea that this system that we live in, that exists, justly rewards um, people for their uh, for their talent and their efforts. Um, and there's probably other definitions of meritocracy, and you'll see them coming out in this conversation. So I'll leave it at that, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you want to take out a pen and paper, here's a couple questions that I want to ask you to be thinking about as you watch this video, okay? And that you can process afterwards. I don't know if you guys are going to watch this together, or you're going to watch it by yourself. If you watch it by yourself, then process it on your own. If you watch it together, then which would be great if you get together to watch this, to discuss this among yourselves. But here are the questions, okay? Hope you have a pen and paper ready. How would you describe what merit means? How would you describe the meaning of merit to someone else that doesn't understand that term, okay? Define merit, okay, in your own words. And also, what does the word meritocracy mean, okay, in your own words, in your own understanding? Here's the second question. What do you think are the best arguments for and against meritocracy? Okay. If you had to argue for meritocracy, how would you argue for it? If you had to argue against it, how would you argue against it? Number 3. What's your personal opinion? What do you personally think about meritocracy? Are you for it? Are you against it? Or maybe you think that it's more complicated than just yes or no. But how would you explain your opinion about meritocracy to someone else? And then number 4, fourth question. What ideas, concepts from the scriptures, from Christianity, that Jesus has spoken about, that any of the principles in the Bible, which ideas come to mind as you process this idea of meritocracy? How would you evaluate all these things in light of the scriptures? Okay. So number 1, how would you define merit and meritocracy? Number 2, what do you think are the best arguments for and against it? Number 3, what's your personal opinion about meritocracy? And number 4, how do you think the Christian teaching, what do you think that has to say from your own memory? All right. So I'll let you now go watch this debate, and then we'll process a little bit afterwards.